So, guys, the Commanders officially wrapped up their mandatory minicamp. Now summer break is going to start and it will last around 4 to 5 weeks. After closing, head coach Dan Quinn did a press conference and give some insights that I believe we must need to interpret right now because you know how important it is for us to understand what's going on with the Commanders. But the most interesting thing is what Dan Quinn said about Jayden Daniels. He is on the ground with a new offensive coordinator and offensive scheme. So let me tell you what we got from our head coach. What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome to NFL Playbook Commanders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, the Commanders successfully completed all 3 minicamp practices, and now everybody's gone for like 5-6 weeks till camp in late July. So, this is basically the last look we get at the team for a while. That's why I care about it. But I gotta be real with you, it's June. There's no pads, and that matters like a lot. Nobody's tackling, the linemen aren't really banging into each other. So, when a coach says a guy stood out, you gotta ask, stood out doing what? Running around in shorts. Look, it tells you about a guy is in shape and he knows the playbook. It doesn't tell you he can hold up when a 300-pound dude's trying to put him on the ground. So just keep that in mind for everything I'm about to say. And Quinn kinda said that's the whole point of these 3 days anyway. He said he was trying to test some guys, see who pops up. It wasn't about the stars. Terry McLaurin doesn't gotta prove anything in June. This was about the depth guys, the ones just trying to make the team. So that's how I'm looking at it. This is a depth thing, not a we found our missing piece thing. So let's start with the vets, and Quinn named 3 guys he brought in. The first one is the running back, Rachaad White. He's a 5th-year guy, played 4 years in Tampa. And here's the fun part, he played college ball with Jayden Daniels at Arizona State. So there's already some chemistry there, and that's a nice little thing to have with a young QB. But who is he really? Interesting part about him is that he's a pass-catching back. Like, over 200 of his career touches came through the air. He can catch it, he can pass block, which is honestly the thing that gets young backs benched the fastest. So, he's a 3rd down guy. And Quinn talked him up on the catching stuff, even said he might get some return reps as well. But here's my pushback, and you gotta be honest with me. Is a 3rd down back exciting news? Come on. It's a nice, solid vet on a 1-year deal. That's cool, but it's not gonna get you fired up. And honestly, it kinda tells you they don't have a clear number 1 back yet. Because Quinn got asked straight up if he needs a main guy, and he was like, probably a couple guys. That's a head coach telling you he doesn't have a workhorse he trusts. So, enjoy White for what he is, but the backfield's still a question mark to me. Then the second vet he mentioned was edge rusher, K'Lavon Chaisson. This one I like more. Former 1st-round pick who was with the Patriots that went to the Super Bowl last year. Got 17.5 career sacks, 7.5 just last season. That's real. And Quinn loved his toughness. Even said the whole edge group's looking good even without Dorrance Armstrong taking reps yet. That's depth, and we've needed it. But I want to ask a quick question to you. Why was a 1st-round pick with 7.5 sacks last year available on a cheap 1-year deal? Guys who get to the quarterback get paid, man. So either the league saw something we didn't, or that number was a little fluky. I don't know yet. Nobody's hit anybody in pads, but that's the thing I'm wondering about. And the 3rd vet was wide receiver Van Jefferson. This is the guy Quinn keeps bringing up like multiple times this offseason. And that's the tell. He had a really good year back in 2021 with the Rams. But since then, he's bounced around Atlanta, Pittsburgh, Tennessee. So he's a journeyman now. My honest take, veteran receivers always look great in June because it's all timing routes and no contact. That's their whole thing. I think he makes the team, but I'm holding off on the excitement till the pads come on. A guy who's been on 4 teams in 3 years, the league kind of knows what he is. Now let's flip to the young defense, because this is where the real future is. Quinn named 4 guys. The big one for me is Johnny Newton, the D tackle. 2nd-round pick from the same draft that got us Daniels, so he's a building block. Interior pass rush is super hard to find, and year 2 is usually when those guys figure it out. So if the light's coming on for Newton, that's big. Bigger than any of the vet stuff, honestly. Then you got Jordan McGee and Kane Medrano at linebacker, late-round developmental guys, and the international project TJ Maguranyanga, who literally came over from rugby in France and played 11 snaps all last year. And look, cool story, I love the development angle. But late-round linebackers and a 1-tackle rugby guy standing out in June, that's a feel-good thing, not a 2026 rotation thing. Gotta be honest about it. And then the name nobody saw coming, undrafted rookie receiver Jayden Bradley. Only rookie Quinn named, and he's undrafted. He's 6'4", the tallest receiver on the roster, and in a room that's short on size, that matters. But here's the cold water. Undrafted rookies who light it up in June, that happens every single year, man. Every team's got one. The shorts and shells hero who disappears the second the pads come on. So, as a story, I love it. As a guy actually making the team, show me in August when somebody's allowed to hit him. Okay, now let's discuss something I told you about at the start. The most exciting thing in this whole presser, and barely anybody's talking about it. It's Jayden Daniels. So, we got a new offense this year. A new coordinator in David Blue, which means Daniels is learning a whole new system from scratch. And the question all offseason was, how fast is he picking it up? Quinn said it's about 80% installed. Cool. But then he said the way Daniels processes all this stuff still surprises him, that he's way ahead of where most guys would be. And get this, Quinn described Daniels breaking the huddle and already telling teammates where to go, telling a receiver, hey, I'm coming to you, before the snap, calling out stuff. And Quinn said that doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but it multiplies. A young QB processing that fast in a brand new offense in June, basically coaching his own teammates? You can't teach that, man. That's the kind of thing that separates the good ones from the great ones. Now, Quinn understands that knowing it and actually doing it on Sundays are two different things. The timing with his receivers still has to come in camp. So, his brain's ahead of his reps right now. But would you rather have a QB who's mentally ahead and just needs reps, or one who's behind and has all the reps in the world, mentally ahead every time? That's your exciting news right there. Now, let me tell you something. Remember Chigo Okonkwo, tight end we signed in free agency? Well, Minicamp dropped a clip of him making moves. Exactly the after the catch stuff I was hyped about. And look how this all fits together. You got a QB in Daniels who processes like a vet and loves throwing to his tight ends. A new offense under Blue that's going to attack the middle of the field. And Okonkwo's a matchup nightmare who eats that stuff up, with John Bates handling the blocking, so Okonkwo just gets to be a weapon. Plus, a wide open receiver battle behind McLaurin and Antonio Williams. The pieces are lining up, guys. Okonkwo wasn't some random signing. He's a key part of exactly the offense this team's trying to build. And like I told you last time, this dude's got a real chance to have a career year here. Think about where he's been, man. In Tennessee, he was catching passes from guys like Will Levis in an offense that just couldn't get going. He never had a real quarterback. Now he's walking into a situation with Daniels throwing him the ball. And we all saw what Daniels did with Zach Ertz last season, fed him targets like crazy. So why would it be any different for Okonkwo? He's younger, he's faster, he's a low fours guy at like 240 pounds. He's a straight up matchup nightmare. Too quick for linebackers, too big for the little corners, and in a blow offense that's going to live over the middle, that's a perfect fit. That's exactly the kind of weapon that thrives in this system. Yeah, he can't block in line, that's his one real weakness, but that's the whole point of having Bates there. You're not asking Okonkwo to do the dirty work. You're letting him do the one thing he's elite at, get open and make plays after the catch. And for $9 million a year, that's a real steal, guys. So, guys, the Commanders officially wrapped up their mandatory minicamp. You know now summer break is going to start, and it will last around 4 to 5 weeks. After closing, head coach Dan Quinn did a press conference and gave some insights that I believe we must need to interpret right now. Because you know how important it is for us to understand what's going on with the Commanders. But the most interesting thing is what Dan Quinn said about Jayden Daniels. You know he is on the ground with a new offensive coordinator and an offensive scheme. So, let me tell you what we got from our head coach. What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook, Commanders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.